Not to be dramatic, but $80,000 for one Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? Welcome to Crypto by Mathieu. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. No time for intros. Let's jump right into the video. So guys, it's very clear. Bitcoin is in this beautiful price discovery. We are finally here. We've been in this crazy range for, 8 months. And now we have finally crossed out of it and exploded to the upside. It feels like every single day, Bitcoin is putting in a new all-time high. But today, on a Sunday, $80,000. Guys, this is the moment we've been waiting for, and I think it's only going to be getting better. We can see that on the weekly chart, we got an absolute God candle. We went all the way from just under $67,000 to now $80,000. If we close the week like this, man, oh man, is it going to look good. There are far too many catalysts for me to even count as to why Bitcoin continues to make all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. First of all, we have Trump. Well, did you really doubt the Trump pump? Here he is. He's not even president yet, and the crypto markets are looking absolutely incredible. He's already planning on getting more crypto-friendly politicians involved, and we also touched on the fact that Bitcoin will become a strategic reserve for the United States of America. If you needed even more bullish news, we now have Charles Hoskinson, the Cardano founder, working directly with Donald Trump on crypto policy. Do you understand what's really happening here? Let's take a look at what he has to say.
And a large part of my time in 2025 will also be devoted to the political process. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time working with lawmakers in Washington, D.C., and quite a bit of time working with members of the administration to help foster and facilitate with other key leaders in industry the crypto policy.
That's insane! Do you know what this means for your altcoins? Guys, this couldn't be a more bullish environment for crypto.
We have to do this and we have to get it done. There's a very high probability that Republicans will control not only the Senate and the presidency, but also the Congress, the House. And in the process of doing so, this is the best opportunity we have ever had in the history of the industry to get clarity for our industry and remove the sort of Damocles that the SEC has reigned over the Cardano ecosystem and Ripple ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem.
Guys, I know I'm extremely excited here, but please understand what is happening. Crypto has never had any clear guidelines or regulations. And now we have the founder of a large cap altcoin project, Cardano, getting involved with crypto policy to try to set the stage for the rest of the industry. Yes, this will be absolutely insane for altcoins. And for those of you that are new into the industry and want to look to make the most gains, it is now starting to look like Altseason is getting closer and closer and closer. So you need to start paying attention to the market outside of Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin will lead the way, and I'll get into that, but Altseason looks to be imminent. And it's not just this news that's suggesting that, but we also have to consider the charts. Bitcoin dominance has now tanked from around 61% all the way to below 59%. Alts are already starting to rally, so you better be paying attention. Now, this has been a huge uptrend in Bitcoin dominance, and we have now fallen back into the range. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but if we end up breaking below this range, alts will go absolutely ballistic. So you need to make sure that you start positioning yourself for this. That being said, there is still a chance that with all eyes being on Bitcoin, Bitcoin could still continue this uptrend. And honestly, we can't say with certainty that this uptrend is done until Bitcoin closes below 58%, around that area. So make sure you're paying attention to this because Bitcoin is still leading the rest of the market. Now, what we're looking for here for our altcoins is something along this line. You can see here that when Bitcoin dominance collapses, that is when we get our beloved altcoin season. I have two scenarios in mind here. One of them is that Bitcoin continues to rip up and drags the rest of the market with it. And the second one is that Bitcoin starts to stall out, allowing room for altcoins to breathe. So typically what happens is when Bitcoin is in price discovery, it keeps on making all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. And it doesn't allow altcoins, in particular Ethereum, to catch up to it because Bitcoin just keeps on melting upwards. In this uptrend that we've been seeing, whenever Bitcoin started to stall out in the slightest, we started to see Ethereum pick up steam. So as long as Bitcoin stays above its previous all-time high, which was around $73,800, altcoins have a very good chance of continuing to run. But we need to understand the dynamics of altcoin season first. So you can either think short-term or long-term. In the short term, if Bitcoin stalls out here right around the 70K area and kind of just hovers around 79 to 81K and stays in that area for days or even weeks, we will have an insane altcoin season. There is no doubt about that because it allows the rest of the market to catch up. Ethereum will start picking up. I mean, it already has, and the rest of the altcoins will continue to follow. However, the situation that I would honestly prefer here would be that Bitcoin continues to make all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. Why? Well, if Bitcoin makes its way all the way up to say $85,000 or $90,000 and starts its consolidation at higher levels than it currently is now, this would create the environment for a major alt season, much bigger of an altcoin season than if we were to just hover around these areas. And so it's very important that you understand these dynamics. The higher we go, the better in the long term for altcoins and the better altcoin season we will have. If Bitcoin starts stalling out here, we will end up having the altcoin season, but it might be a little bit tempered compared to if Bitcoin ends up much, much higher. You need to understand that Bitcoin is the king and it determines the rest of the market. Once Ethereum, which is the king of altcoins, starts picking up some steam, that is when your altcoins will truly run. My general view of altcoins is that if they cannot outperform Ethereum, then it's not worth it in terms of risk to reward. Because Ethereum gives you the upside of the altcoin market while minimizing your downside risk because it is technically considered a blue chip along with Bitcoin in this industry. If your altcoin does a 5x, but Ethereum also does a 5x, then you would have been far better parking your money in Ethereum because it provides you with less risk than some shiny new altcoin. So please keep that into consideration. If your altcoin does not outperform ETH when we have an altcoin season, then it simply wasn't worth it. In my upcoming videos, I will be talking about which altcoins I'm personally invested in and which ones I think will be winners, not only for this cycle, but that will also outperform Ethereum and the rest of the market. Okay, and all the hype and euphoria aside, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment hit $10 billion in profit. And he just keeps on accumulating Bitcoin. If that's not conviction, I don't know what is. Remember, it is always wise to convert your altcoin profits back into Bitcoin if you are a long-term believer in Bitcoin. There's two kinds of market participants. There's the ones that try to speculate on altcoins and make as much US dollars as possible. And there's the other ones that still speculate on altcoins, but when they make those profits, they convert it back to Bitcoin. If you're like me and you believe that Bitcoin is truly the currency and the store of value for the future, and that we could be seeing, say, a $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million Bitcoin in the upcoming decades, then be smart about it and make sure that you're securing your profits into Bitcoin. That is what I do, and that is what I've been doing since 2018, and I would highly recommend you do the same. The name of the game is to stack Bitcoin in the long term, so make sure you're doing that. All things considered, I really think that we are gearing up for what will be perhaps the most monumental bull run in history. You better make sure you don't miss out. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave your comments down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.